Welcome back to this edition of Kale's Quick Hits, Vaccination Indoctrination. All right, so in this segment, it's going to be twofold. It's going to be an update on my situation with the DoD COVID vaccine mandate and some of the indoctrination going on with the Air Force right now, Space Force wide. All right. So first off, my situation. Where am I at? What happened? Am I kicked out or not? Or what's going on? First off, so the documentation that I submitted was kicked back to our wing. And there were some more finalizations apparently that my supervisor needed to make as far as corrections, then it had to be sent back up. So initially, let me explain a little bit. In the past, I did have COVID really bad back in September of 2021. Also, I was given the monoclonal antibodies, and that's another piece that I'm still trying to fight as well. But so what happens is once this got kicked back, and then, drill weekend's going on, and then come Sunday, is that Sunday, it seems like you always get bad news. So come Sunday between 2 and 2:30, my supervisor comes in my office. He tells me, hey, I just want to let you know I sent your paperwork back up and everything, but I wanted you to hear it from me first. I denied it. Now, here's the thing on that. It still goes forward, and it still goes up to higher command anyways. But it always helps when you have a supervisor in your corner, telling you that, hey, I believe in you, I believe what you stand for in this stance, and definitely going forward. Now, I do know from my base there was at least maybe 3 or 4 individuals that did that and took a stance. Now, I don't know if theirs got kicked back as well. I just know that mine did get kicked back. So what I'm saying is it's always nice to have a supervisor that stands up for you one way or another, puts his, on the line for you. My supervisor did not, however, and I'm just going to leave it there at that. All right. So as I've stated, I work with individuals, and I know individuals higher up within the chain of command where my base is, and I explain my situation, my story. It's almost like he totally had a 180 from what we were talking about previously before. He went on to explain to me, he's like, well, we're getting a lot of pressure from the Pentagon, and we're also getting a lot of pressure from the White House as well, too. And he said, that we would probably, go ahead and not, you're probably going to go ahead and not get the authorization a second time around from your supervisor. And I was kind of perplexed on this, because I'm like, well, isn't your supervisor supposed to be the one sticking up for you in this? And again, this individual as well, he didn't give me the correct responses that I wanted to hear, but at the same time, I still respected his responses, and we're still amicable, talking just about at least every 2 or 3 days. So I don't see a problem. I do understand this is the way, and this is the way the military wants to go. But however, last week after we heard the mandate, for businesses 100 or greater knocked down by the Supreme Court, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens anyways on that. So mine was sent forward. I believe it's back up to higher headquarters right now, and we'll see where it goes from there. But that's my situation. So it looks like I at least have probably another month or 2 left. But again, as I stated, I still am retiring. All right, so let's move on to other. While other nations, are worried about cyber warfare, stealth, and hypersonic fighters, and 101 ways to kill us, okay, what are we worried about? We are worried about pronouns. So let's talk about pronouns, baby. It's brought to you by the military, LGBT. Okay, all right, seriously. I know it sounds funny, but this is what we're going to talk about. So I want to explain to you about this email that was sent out in December, and it's actually about pronouns in your signature block. Apparently this was authorized, this was approved. So there was an update here to our tongue and quill now promotes greater respect for the recognition and individual identities by allowing airmen and guardians to include pronouns in their signature block. Ooh, pronouns. Ooh. Okay. All right. So it goes on further to read, and I will show you this letter here that I got from the email. It says, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer/questioning intuitive team, also known as LIT, okay, and the Indigenous Nations Equality Teams, INET, were recently formally established by the Department of the Air Force under an umbrella of its Barrier Analysis Work Group, otherwise known as the BOG. Okay, all right? So the establishment of these two teams is to build the successes of the Department of the Air Force's other teams. Really? What other teams are there? Well, I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, I don't know. Is there an NDI special team or something? Is there a special task force that we have, on toilet paper maybe? I don't know. I'm just saying, it's like, okay, let's just make teams. All right. And it goes on to say, it allows the Department of the Air Force to identify and address the issues impacting diversity and inclusion for airmen and guardians. Really? Because we have proper protocols for if you are discriminated against. There's EEO, there's IG complaints, you can talk to your supervisor, there's psychological health, there's chaplain services. Okay, I just named off a whole bunch of them that you can go to without having this. All right? So I put this question out to you. Did you even know that we have a LIT and a BOG team? Did you? Your taxpayer dollars at work paying for it? Did you? Bet you didn't know. Anyways, so I looked these up, and I didn't know about these groups, and it looks like this agenda was put forth in about 2020. And so it was put forth, and then it was established and kind of moved forward in 2021 with this. So as far as I know, though, I haven't seen, and I've talked with other people, I haven't seen a group on our base, that has this team. So with saying all that and talking about pronouns, you might be asking who helped this group establish themselves. Well, it was none other than Major General Leah Lauterbach, right here. And that's right, she is a lesbian. Okay, so I looked her up and everything, and this is what I found out. So this past year in August, the Los Angeles Blade spoke with the general about her career and the Barrier Analysis Group, the BOG. All right, so here's what she had to say. This Barrier Analysis Group, working group, is really kind of grassroots, Lauterbach says. While there are a few of us that are higher ranking on the team, it's mostly made up of folks that are much younger, have a very different experience than we do. And so they're uncovering what are those barriers, those unconscious biases that folks have. And goes on to say, and identifying those areas that we can start knocking down. Okay, one example of change Lauterbach said about the team would love to see is the use of pronouns in some of the signature blocks in communications from service members. Aha, right? So I've asked numerous members after this came out. The email came out December 21st. And so I've asked numerous members about, hey, are you going to change your signature block? And so what they told me, they said basically it was stupid and we don't even need to do this. So all that, I guess, hard work and things and working in teams with taxpayer dollars. Yeah. Okay. So do we really need to do this? Again, they have a hypersonic fighter. Okay. China just developed. All right. I don't know. They probably stole our blueprints anyways. Again, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole with Lauterbach, but here's some additional comments that she does make. Okay, and then I want to show you a correlation of situation that I was involved in last year. All right, so certainly when I came out and I was really enjoying my job and I wanted to make the Air Force a career, but every day it was a concern and absolutely made me untruthful at times, which is so embarrassing to say and humiliating at this point. Lauterbach says, I had to lie at times. I was still hidden as a gay member in the service, but I trudged through it. So now this leads to my final comments about this, and in particular, again, as I said, to a conference that my group attended last year. It was leadership management conference. Okay, there was a retired colonel who was also a lesbian. Hey, her words, not mine. Okay. Was one of the guest speakers at the engagement. And when she began to, she talked about leadership and the 5 points and some of the things you need to work on and how you work and communicate with people and stuff, all that was fine and good. However, that was probably about 20 or 30% of her speech. Okay? So the rest of it, it started going off on empowerment and empowerment of the LGBT, and just I got distracted, and it was distracting for me, and I tuned out. So I don't know. I went to the bathroom, checked my email, went and did a cigarette smoke break, even though I don't smoke cigarettes. Okay. Yeah. In essence, to me, the message was hollow, and it didn't really carry any weight, and it was just bogged down by the 60% that she talked about on the back half, and not. But I do want to talk about this. Okay. So she also explained that when she came in, she lied. So similar to some of the things Lauterbach was saying, Major General Lauterbach. All right. But she lied. She openly said that. She lied on her enlistment papers. So I guess she was actively a lesbian, and she lied on her enlistment papers. So, I mean, wow. Okay. So in this situation, when your entire, I mean, she retired full bird colonel, okay? Your entire military career is based on a lie. And I don't condone that at all. Okay? So now I want to come 360. I want to come bring it all the way back when we're talking about this COVID mandate and everything like that. Okay? And the policies we have set forth currently with the DOD. All right? So if someone really wanted to join the armed forces or thought it's a rite of passage in their family, to join, but didn't want to take the jab, okay? So, I mean, should they lie or show false documentation to get in? I mean, now, some of the same audience, I mean, they would be saying to go ahead and just take the jab. And others would say that, well, they did what they did just to get in. I mean, so when you think about that, they did what they did just to get in. So when you take these two groups, okay, that lied, all right, is that legitimate? Is that legitimate? Again, either way, I don't condone it, all right? So if you have something to say on this, please comment below. And always remember, wisdom isn't just from the words you read, it's from the actions you take and the knowledge you reciprocate. We'll see you next time.